You've changed the job, you've taken a holiday, and you're doing the self-care, so why are you still waking up exhausted? Most people think burnout recovery looks like a trip to the beach or a bunch of new supplements or a nice long nap, but for high achievers, that's a trap. True recovery actually looks like a stable nervous system, a congruent psychological system, and a deep understanding of how your deepest internal foundations influence your health and your day-to-day life. Today, I'm going to show you why the first one fails and how the second one can save your well-being, performance, and fulfillment by addressing the invisible load that most people miss. My name is Charlotte Stebbing-Mills, and over the last 20 years, I've helped over 8,000 high performers, from CEOs and founders to change-making community leaders, to reclaim their energy by identifying the root drivers of their stress response. I've seen clients reduce their perceived stress levels by 65% in as little as 30 days without them having to quit their jobs or do less. So if you're a high achiever who feels oddly flat despite your success, then this is for you. We're moving past the take a nap advice and diving into the physiology and the psychology of why your system is glitching. By the end, you'll have a 4-part reset for your internal operating system. Let's dive in. Okay, so what you're looking at here is our stress performance pyramid. And this is what we use with clients to navigate what's happening with their stress and how that influences their performance. So at the top here, you can see something called the life level. And inside the life level, we have things like our career, our hobbies, the impact we want to make, our personal growth, our relationships, our environment, our finances, and our spiritual well-being. Underneath, we have what we call our health level, which is where we include things like sleep, movement, quality of thinking, emotions, the actions we want to take, whether that be social connection, for example, breath, nutrition, energy, and all of the things that contribute to our health. And we look at things like hormones and all of these different elements as well in here. And then we have what we call our root level, which is more of the deeper psychological things that will feed into our health and our life. So all of these influence each other. What typically happens is we stay on the surface and we kind of play and we try and change what's happening at the life level. We might try and change our sleep routines and things like this to try and improve things. But actually, we often need to look at what's going on at the root. So before we dive into the root, and that's what our whole video is going to be about today, I want to give you a little bit of insight into perhaps the way we are operating and the way we're trying to essentially fix our stress and our burnout that might not actually be helping. Because sometimes it's a case of we need to just stop doing something rather than just start lots of things in order to recover really well and manage our stress and overcome burnout. So what we're looking at here, okay, for a moment is I want to just focus in on this life level and the health level and the relationship, because what happens down here actually influences what happens then upstream at both our health and our life. So to give you an example, we experience a lot of our stress symptoms, don't we, within our health. So like we might feel a bit of fatigue, right? Particularly if we're not sleeping well or our energy is low because of other things. We might feel a bit heavy, so we don't move as much, right? Maybe we've got brain fog, right? Or maybe we are thinking more negatively, right? This is happening in our quality of thinking. Maybe we're quite reactive with our emotions, right? Maybe we're experiencing gut issues, right? Maybe we experience panic and we have panic attacks and we can't breathe properly, right? We have all of these different symptoms that show up, but these symptoms feed into our lives, right? Our brain fog might be affecting us from being able to actually concentrate inside our career, right? Our reactivity might be influencing our relationships, right? Our fatigue might stop us from going and having the experiences that we want to have, right? So we need to start to pay attention to how this all links together and overflows rather than looking at things in silo. And that's typically what we see happening when people are trying to solve these kind of stress factors by themselves. I was walking a CEO through this exact kind of diagnostic and framework last week, and she'd been taking leave on and off really for about 6 months, and it was just a sick leave. She would go back to work, she'd feel a bit better, and she'd be off again, and she was just constantly exhausted by this whole way it was playing out in her life, right? But the moment I showed her this, she realized that she was constantly trying to fix the systems, and what she was failing to miss was that she had perhaps a bit of a need for some deeper recovery systems. And that is what I want to share with you today that might be getting overlooked. So, we then have the root level, because again, if we remember, everything that happens at the root level will affect what's happening at the health level, and that affects what happens at the life level and how we're experiencing things. So, the root level, for the client I was telling you about just now, for her, it was kind of her identity that was struggling and needed some attention, and it was regulation that she needed for her attention. She recognized that there was a leak, an energy leak essentially inside kind of her own relationship with life itself, not just stress. But because she wasn't focusing on these things, she was spending more time playing around, trying to fix things like her sleep and trying to understand whether it was just the food she was eating. But actually, those things are important. But the things that were driving it were things like the identity, and the self-regulation. And in today's video, I'm actually going to dive into the most common areas that get neglected, particularly at the root level. Now, as you can see, there are 12, but we're today going to focus on 4, the most common ones. So we've got the regulation, we've got identity, and we are going to then look at unresolved emotions and emotional patterns. And we're also going to look at the belief systems as well. So let's dive into those. Now that you can see the full pyramid, the fastest way to stop guessing which layer is leaking your energy is to get your own specific scores. So I've put the Stress Performance Scorecard link in the description. Grab it so you can look at your results as we dive into these 4 root drivers. So the first driver of the invisible load that you might be carrying that's contributing to your stress and burnout is identity. Now, for high achievers, this usually looks like living by the idea that I am what I produce, meaning we might be living by this almost structural flaw within us that says I am my work. And when we live by this, any challenge at work then becomes this 24/7 threat level in our system. So, for example, if the project is failing, or even if you're just slowing down, you can be at risk because your brain can't distinguish between a professional setback and a survival threat. This used to be me too, and I also now see this constantly with the entrepreneurs that I coach in particular. Their nervous system literally cannot relax because to them, perhaps unknowingly, relaxing feels like losing a part of their identity. They often describe it as this guilt, right? Or the restless itch. But that's not a personality trait. It's not just who you are because you're an entrepreneur. It's actually your operating system that's viewing this break as an identity crisis. And you're not obviously thinking about it as an identity crisis in the moment. So we've not explored it deep enough to actually understand it. So we just kind of paint over the cracks and we start trying to fix the symptoms without actually looking at what does it mean about me if I was to stop. If we answer that question, often a lot of different things start to come up. Most people are not burned out because they're doing too much work. They're actually burned out because they've forgotten who they are without the doing. Right? It goes to the age-old saying of we are human beings rather than human doings, and we have to take that seriously. See, we've been conditioned to believe that our value is based on our volume of work. If we just do more, right? If we just finish the to-do list. But if your self-worth is tied to your output, you're essentially like a high performance car that refuses to ever turn off the engine because you're afraid it won't exist if it isn't moving, right? That constant idle is what's draining your battery whilst you're even sleeping. So the identity is the who behind the invisible load that you're carrying. It's actually the foundation. But driving that identity is what we're going to cover in the third driver very, very soon on emotional patterns, because that's where actually 80% of your actual physical energy is being wasted right now without you even realizing it. But before we get there, we have to look at the rules you've set for yourself, and that's driver number 2. So that second root driver is beliefs, specifically the unwritten rules you've set for your own survival, saying things like, I'm not doing enough, or rest must be earned. I hear this one a lot and it's really, really common. I hear parents say it to their kids and stuff as well. But the thing is, inside of us, these beliefs then act like a program. They're like a background process that's running 24/7, that's consuming energy even while you're technically asleep. Think about it like this. You wouldn't tell your phone that it has to earn its charge before you can make 3 more phone calls, would you? You know that if your battery is at 1%, then it needs to be plugged in. Yet that's the program that we're running in our own brain about our own body. We've moralized a biological necessity, which is insane when we think about it. You think that rest is a reward for good behavior, when in reality, rest is a biological prerequisite for living, let alone high performance. If you're waiting until you're finished to rest, you'll never rest, because for a high achiever, the work is never finished. By making rest a reward, you've just turned your recovery into a source of stress. You're not resting, you're just waiting to work again. And that distinction is why typically capacity starts to shrink. Now, these rules are what keep your system on high alert, but we're about to move into the third driver. This is the one that I promised you earlier, the one that's specifically responsible for 80% of your physical energy being leaked through your nervous system without you even lifting a finger. If you ever feel like you're running on empty, even on your days off, this is why. So we've covered the who, your identity, and the rules that you carry, your beliefs, but this here is where the majority of your energy is going, to unresolved emotions. I call this emotional debt. And unless you've done some specific intentional emotional release work over the years, you're likely carrying stored up emotions from your past. These are frustrations, setbacks, even small micro stresses. They don't just disappear, they stack up over time. And your body is this vessel, right? And if you don't empty it, eventually it overflows. Most high performers try to operate on a mind over matter philosophy, but your body doesn't work that way. Stored frustration and suppressed grief, or even just the daily swallowing of your true reactions, requires actual physical energy to keep it all pushed down. And there's a reality that your fitness tracker won't tell you. Your body is burning energy just to keep your emotions suppressed. Every time you push through without processing, you are initiating this physical contraction inside your body. That is a massive silent energy leak. So you're not just tired from perhaps your meetings or from the physical effort to keep your days going. Actually, you're tired from the physical effort of keeping decades of emotion from surfacing. That is emotional debt. You can't discipline your way out of an emotional debt, right? If your system is leaking energy into suppression, you can't fix it with a better to-do list or a 5 a.m. cold plunge or more caffeine. Those are just more demands on an already bankrupt system. So to regain your capacity, you have to stop the leak, not just increase the inputs. So emotional debt is something we just cannot afford to keep on paying into. So far, we've identified the identity traps, right? The beliefs, and now the emotional leaks. But how do you actually close these tabs and resolve them? Well, this brings us to driver number 4, which is regulation. This is the manual override for your entire system. If we get this right, you can start to then resolve all of the other factors in that root level and all the way up into the health and into the life level too. So, our regulation is a bit like a master switch. It's the one thing, if we can start to really, really master, then we can actually flick the switch to create a bit more peace and to be able to navigate day to day stresses in a much more effective way so they don't add up and create debt. And so they don't start to ripple out into kind of our day to day life and even into our health as well. So if you remember from earlier, that pyramid, that baseline, that root level, this is very, very brittle if we haven't done the work that's within those elements and the things that we've spoken about today. If eventually it will collapse, right? We'll get to a state of burnout if we're not making sure that base level is strong. So regulation is that master switch that allows you to actually keep everything else strong. So most high achievers are typically stuck in this alertness state. We're always on, always scanning for the next thing, the next threat perhaps. But regulation isn't about just being calm all the time. It's about flexibility. It's about having the ability to be able to go from high intensity and lots of output to deep restorative rest without the restless itch that we talked about earlier. Without regulation, you are like a car that's just stuck in fifth gear, even when you're parked in the garage. If you can't regulate, you can't recover. It's as simple as that. There are many videos on this channel that will help you to start working on regulation. Work on regulation first, and the rest will start to get easier. If you haven't already taken that scorecard and looked at your own results of your whole pyramid from earlier, then grab your score and use the link in the description so that you can see kind of like the before picture of your recovery and then like the after picture. And you'll be able to, within that before and after, identify the core drivers that you need to work on, whether that be at that kind of that life, health or root level. So today we only had time to cover 4 of those root drivers at the base of your pyramid, but there are actually 12 drivers that make up the full invisible load. And if you don't address the other 8 too, you're still vulnerable to a crash. So go ahead and check out this next video that unpacks those. I'll see you in there.